Hello my beautiful people. So in today's video we are going back to the basics on how to apply acrylic nails, and of course I'm going to show you exactly everything that you need. So of course your acrylic powder, your monomer, your nail tips, your nail clipper, you need a tip cutter, a odor reducer, which this is optional, but this is the Jcbeautyconcepts odor reducer, your dapping dish, your buffer, your acrylic brush. This is the number 10 oval Kolinsky brush by Alpha Brush. You need your glue. I love to use the KDS glue and it works really good for me. You're also going to need a cuticle pusher, a hand file. This is an 8080 hand file. And then you're going to need your e-file, which I have my MELODYSUSIE e-file. I do have a promo code for them, so I'll leave that information down below. So of course the first thing that you want to do is just go in and push back the cuticles. This is going to expose the new growth and help with reducing lifting, and as always you definitely don't want to ever skip this step. After that, we're gonna go in and just trim down the nails. Now I really should have did this before, I mean it really don't matter, but you just want to go in and trim down the nails. I personally don't like my natural nails long underneath my acrylic, so I like to always just cut them all the way down. And then after we finish trimming the nails down, I'm gonna go in with the e-file, and I'm using it at 6,000 RPMs. Now you guys know that I'm currently in Miami, so I forgot my little sanding band drill bit, and so I just put the sanding band on top of a regular drill bit, so that's why it looks a little bit weird. But anyways, again, this is the 180 sanding band. You want to make sure that you don't use anything too coarse because you don't want to damage your client's nail. And so as always, just going around the cuticle area, working your way around there, and then following the rest of the nail to make sure that you've removed all of the shine. Now I don't know if you guys knew, but our body produces a lot of oils, like a lot of oils, y'all, and those oils happen to be on our natural nails. So right now, if you don't have any acrylic nails and you look at your nails, most likely they're going to be shiny, and that's just that oil. So if you were to just go in and apply acrylic right on top of your shiny nails, most likely you would get lifting. So you want to go in and just get rid of all of that shine. Now also, if you look at my nails, I do have some little damaged parts, and that's because you guys know that I do my nails a lot for videos, and so I get lazy, and instead of soaking them I rip them off, which is not good, and you don't want to do that. So definitely learn from my mistakes and just don't do that, y'all. Always soak your nails. But anyways, I dust the nails off, and then now I'm going in with the nail tips. So of course you want to make sure that whenever you are applying your nail tips, you always want to make sure that your nail tip fits exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You want it to be perfectly, because if not, you will get lifting or breakage. So again, make sure that the nail tip fits perfectly, y'all. Of course, after that, you just apply the glue, place it on the nail, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go do the same thing on the rest. So again, make sure that it fits perfectly from sidewall to sidewall. Once you find the perfect size, you apply the glue. Make sure that you hold your client or your client's finger, or hold on, not hold your client, but hold your finger straight or your client's finger straight. Just place the nail down after you have applied the glue, of course, and it dries pretty quick, or at least this glue dries pretty quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on all of them. Remember, the key to applying nail tips is making sure that you apply the correct size tips, and then also that you're holding the finger really straight so you don't apply the nail on crooked. After we finish applying all of the nail tips, I'm gonna go in and of course just trim them down to my desired length, and with that I'm gonna go in with my tip cutter. So just trimming. And also for this, you guys know I've been doing nails for a while, so I can kind of just guesstimate it, but make sure that you look at the nails really good. That way all of the nails are about the same size. After that, since I am doing a coffin shape, I'm gonna go in and just trim the sides of the nails. For this part, I am using a straight edge clipper. I do have these on my website, so be sure to go check it out. And I'm just, like I said, trimming the sides. That way, whenever I go into file, I'm not gonna be filing all day, because we're basically already cutting those nails into a coffin shape. After that, I'm gonna go in with my 8080 hand file. And as you guys see, they're, like I said, they're already into that coffin shape, so we don't have to do too much filing. So just going in on the sides at exactly a 90-degree angle, filing from the side wall all the way towards the free edge, just going back and forth, and then also filing the free edge with your file being really straight. If you hold it at even a slight angle, y'all, it's gonna ruin your shape. It's gonna round your corners off, and it's gonna be more of a rounded shape. So again, filing the sides and the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle. So same thing for all of them. And then also, as you're doing this, y'all, like I said, you want to make sure that you're paying really close attention. That way you get that perfect shape, because I don't know about y'all, but for me, I feel like having a perfect shape will literally make or break your set. Like sometimes, you know, like the design might be a little bit weird looking or whatever, but if that shape looks good, it kind of makes up for it, y'all. Like I promise it does. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on all of them. Again, this is an 80/80 hand file. I also have these available on my website, which is currently open, so be sure to go check it out. I also have 10% off your entire purchase right now, so don't miss out. The website will be closing down on November 17th and will reopen on November 26th, I believe, for Black Friday. I'll be sure to give you guys more information on that, but I also will be launching my press-ons on that day as well, so make sure that you turn on your notifications. That way, whenever I post a video about it, you guys can run and get you some press-on nails. Alrighty, so now after I finish shaping up all of the nails and we have a perfect shape, I'm going in with my acrylic. So I'm pouring my monomer. This is the Jcbeautyconcepts monomer, and I'm using the Jcbeautyconcepts odor reducer drops, which I literally do like 3 drops, and it takes away from that monomer odor, and it gives it like I feel like it tastes like, I think, not taste, y'all, look at me, I'm over here hungry, but it smells like cherries, I believe is the scent. But anyways, I'm going in with the primer now, just applying that on the natural nail only. And the acrylic that I'm using, or the polymer that I'm using, is the Jcbeautyconcepts Cover Pink acrylic. So going in with my first bead, you guys know that I don't like to work with too much product at a time. So going in with a medium-sized bead, placing it right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, gently patting it down and then brushing it down towards the tip. Now, whenever you're brushing, you definitely want to make sure that you're brushing very, very gently. If you brush too hard, you're literally going to be wiping the acrylic off the nail. Also, as you're working, you guys see how every time I brush the acrylic, I wipe my brush on the paper towel, which I use the Viva paper towels. Now, your paper towels are also super, super important, because trust me, before I used to use like, you know, just regular, I don't even know if they would be considered regular, but just paper towels that were not sucking in all of my monomer and my product off my brush, and so my product would start building up in my brush. So you want to make sure that you use good paper towels. Again, I use the Viva paper towels. They're the signature cloth ones. But anyways, next I went in and applied another bead closer to the tip. Same thing, pat it down and very gently brushing it down. After that, I'm going to go in with a third bead, which is going to go closer to the cuticle area. Now, you guys know I like to stick to a certain method. I personally like doing the 4-ball method. I feel like it's easier for me. And, you know, instead of me just going in and adding acrylic randomly, it's like I have that guide. And as a beginner, I feel like you definitely want to have some sort of technique, whether you're doing a 1-ball method, 2-ball method, 3-ball method, 4-ball method. I think the 4-ball method is really easy to do. So I definitely recommend that. But as always, you know, whatever works for you is completely fine. But I placed the fourth bead closer to the cuticle area, and whenever you place this bead, y'all, you want to make sure that you place it as close as you can to the cuticle area, but not on the skin, because then you will get lifting, because once that product dries, it's going to be really hard to get rid of it or to remove it. And so like I said, most likely you will get lifting. So after that, I'm just going in, and I noticed that on the side I had a little gap, so I just went in and placed the bead right there, patted down and brushed it in to just blend it in with the rest of the acrylic. And that's pretty much it. So again, this is the four ball method. I do have a practice sheet that you guys can download to practice your liquid to powder ratio, because before you even start doing acrylic nails, you do want to make sure that you know how to even pick up a bead. I do have some videos on that, so I'll be sure to leave the link right here so you guys can go click on it and check them out. Alrighty, so like I said, same thing for this one. So that was my first bead. I placed it down, pat it down, brushed it down towards the tip. My second bead is going to go right below that one. So same thing, placing it down, patting it down. And remember, you want to make sure that as you're working, that you're constantly wiping your brush off on a paper towel. That way the acrylic does not get stuck to your brush, because then you're going to end up with really bumpy and lumpy nails, because you're not going to be able to apply your acrylic on smoothly. After that, I went in with my third bead, placed it closer to the cuticle area, patted down, brushed it down very gently. And also making sure that if I get any product on the skin, that I immediately wipe it off with my brush, because if not, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to get hard, and then once it comes to falling, it's going to be really hard to remove, and most likely you will get lifting, and that's definitely what we want to avoid. Also, you want to make sure that when you're doing acrylic nails, y'all, and this is like super important, y'all. I know a lot of the time we want to go the cheaper route, but when it comes to your acrylic, which is your polymer and your monomer and your acrylic brush, you never want to go cheap, y'all. If you want to go cheap with anything, make sure that those three things are not what you go cheap on, because it literally, like for me, when I first started, I used the little Kiss kit from Walmart. And y'all, when I say it was a disaster, like it was a disaster. Like it literally made me want to give up. And then after that, I bought some other cheap acrylic from like my local nail supply store. Same thing, it was really cheap, and I think it was even MMA. So you definitely want to make sure that you do your research on your products. As I mentioned, I use the Jcbeautyconcepts acrylic system. It works really good for me. You know, whatever works for you is completely fine, but this is what's been working for me. It does not dry too fast. It gives you enough time to play with it, which is really good for beginners. And then they also have some beautiful colors, so you can always go check them out. My promo code is GetNail32. But as I mentioned, you know, whatever products you want to use and whatever products work for you is completely fine. Also, as I mentioned, your brush is super important. I use the alpha brushes. I usually use the number 10 and 12. I always recommend starting with a smaller brush, or at least for me, I started with a smaller brush and I just decided to stick with it. There's people out there that use the really big brushes. So whatever you feel comfortable working with is completely fine. You could always start small and then work your way up to a bigger brush. But like I said, I use the alpha brushes. They work really good for me. They last a long time. The price has gone up a little bit on those since I first started using them, but I know that there's been a shortage in like the little Kolinsky hairs that they use for the brushes. So a lot of companies that are making acrylic brushes, they are going up in their price, just like anything else, y'all. Like literally just like anything else in this world right now, prices are skyrocket. So anyways, just wanted to tell you guys that because like I said, that those three things will literally make or break your sets. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish applying the acrylic on all of the nails, and then after that we can move on to the next step. Alrighty, so finishing up the acrylic, and this is what my nails look like after the acrylic application. Really nice and smooth. We have a nice apex, we have a nice thickness at the tip, and they're literally just flawless, y'all. Like whenever I come in to file, I usually only have to file around the cuticle area, and then of course I still file the rest of the nail, but again, they're pretty nice and smooth. And even my shape looks really good, y'all, and this is before I did any filing or anything. So anyways, just wanted to give y'all a little nice side view. And then after that, I'm gonna go in with my same 180, or actually no, this is the 80/80 hand file, and just going in and reshaping those nails. So going in on the sides and the fridge at exactly a 90-degree angle like we did at the very beginning. And of course, you know, we already have that coffin shape that we want, but after you apply the acrylic, it kind of takes away from the shape a little bit. So we just have to go in there and redefine that shape. Alrighty, so this is what my nails look like after the reshaping. So after that, we're gonna go in with the e-file, and I'm gonna be using my extra fine drill bit. So of course, going around the cuticle area, going from the right side all the way over to the left side, going back and forth until you have sealed the cuticle area. And usually how I know that I've sealed the cuticle area is when I'm able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way I know that the acrylic is not on the skin. And then also during this step, I am using my e-file at between 10 and 11,000 RPMs. So as always, whatever works for you is completely fine. If you need to slow it down, do so. If you need to speed it up, that's fine too. But again, focusing around that cuticle area and then the rest of the nail. You want to make sure that you get as close as you can to that cuticle area. That way, like I said, you don't get any lifting, because y'all, trust me, whenever you first start doing acrylics, I think the hardest part is avoiding lifting. And that's just because lifting can come from a number of things, whether it's not prepping the nail correctly, applying tips that are either too big or too small, using the incorrect liquid to powder ratio, from not filing the nails correctly. Like, it literally can come from a number of things, which is why it's so hard to avoid, because sometimes you just don't know exactly what it could be that you're doing wrong. So usually what I have to do is just do like a process of elimination. Like, okay, you know, like, let me pay extra close attention to how I'm prepping the nails, or let me pay attention to if I'm applying the nails too big, or am I filing around the cuticle area really good. So you just kind of have to grade yourself basically and kind of figure out what exactly it is that you're doing right and or wrong. Alrighty, so after we finish doing all of the filing with the e-file, I'm going in with my buffer, and this is going to get rid of any of those scratches left on the nails from your hand file and your e-file. Also, y'all, I know I get this a lot, but I get people DMing me asking like, hey, you know, so I filed the nails, but my nails are still bumpy and thick, like what can I do? In that situation, all you can do is just go in and file the nails some more when you're filing with your e-file or whether you're filing with a hand file. All you can do to thin them out is literally file more. So like with me, you know, you guys noticed that I didn't have to do that much filing because they were nice and smooth. But if your nails are thick and lumpy, just go in and file. Alrighty, so lastly, I washed my hands and then now I'm just going in with some nail art. So I'm just gonna do, my boyfriend actually picked out this design. So I'm just going in with a really light pink. It's almost like a nudish pinkish color. And I'm just gonna go in and do a few little lines and outlines on the tips. Something really nice and clean and very classy, y'all. Like when I say like this look literally gave me like housewife vibes, like I don't know, like it's just so clean, like I don't know, maybe maybe I'm tripping, but I mean it's just really clean looking. So just going in with my small nail art brush. I do have these available on my website as well, and that gel polish was by Madam Glam. I also have a promo code for them. I'll leave that down below, and if I forget to mention anything like any of the links or promo codes, just leave me a comment down below and I'll be sure to add it for you guys. Alrighty, so after that, I just cured this for 60 seconds and then I'm going in with the A-Press, I think that's how you say it, top coat. I actually bought this top coat while I'm here in Miami. And y'all, when I say I am absolutely in love, like I'm in love, y'all. It's so shiny and it just goes on so good. It's not too thick or too thin. It's literally perfect for me because I was in the process of looking for a new one. So when I went to the nail supply store here, they really didn't have that many options. So I just grabbed this one. It was about $20, but it's like a 30mm bottle. So it's definitely a good size and I will be buying more. And it almost made me want to try more of their products, y'all. So be on the lookout for that. So anyways, just going in with the top coat. After this, I'm going to cure for 60 seconds and that'll be it for this set. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. As you can see, they turned out absolutely beautiful. I love the color of the acrylic. I love the color that I used for the lines. Everything just turned out perfect. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and make sure that you hit the little bell so you're notified every time that I post.